do we have to deal with this DEI stuff?
I think that's just...
Listen, so for the folks who like say, hey, we need to get rid of this, it's gone too far. Well, you also need to remember, why do you think it's so hard for so many people to see that? Why do we gotta deal with this race and gender stuff all the time?
Because then you have like...
Not sure.
Yeah, what can you... Okay, you're not sure. Good, correct answer, my friend.
Much to do.
Yeah, correct answer. Okay, but go ahead. What should we do about it? Kyle from Argentina says, what would be the root problem that caused DEI? Dude, you answer this. What's the root problem that caused DEI?
What caused like inequality?
Yeah. Why do we have to deal with this DEI stuff?
I think that's just human nature. Like, people want to strive to get ahead. People are greedy. Like, that's stuff that just happens.
So some groups of people held other groups of people down.
Yeah, for sure. Oppression.
Not every single person in each group got held down, but other people used their place in the order of things to ensure that their people in their group moved forward more so than other groups.
Exactly, yeah.
Like with Native Americans, we didn't say, hey, we're going to take your land. We're taking all your land. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you some land, and we're going to make sure it's really good land, and we're going to make sure that you have everything you need so that you can thrive and recapture the world that you have that we took from you. We didn't do that. If we'd have done that, that would be one thing, but we didn't do that. And so now we're constantly dealing with the catch-up thing.
America had promised like 40 acres and a mule to every like black person or a black family. Yeah, and that never really happened. Proposals. And so like, I think that it's obviously far-fetched now because we can't do that. But if things like that were actually stated or like done immediately after slavery or kind of like whatever was the oppression event, a lot of things would be easier now than it was back then.
Yeah, I think definitely. Listen, so for the folks who like say, hey, we need to get rid of this, it's gone too far. Well, you also need to remember, after the Civil War, if we'd have said to former slaves, all right, man, you know what, we really effed that up. Like slavery, yeah, okay, we lost the war, and hey, our bad, got that. We're gonna all right, we're gonna make it right. Oh God, oh man, okay, we're gonna fix it. We'd be in a very different position here, but that's not what happened. And so it's not at all what happened. Conditions for former slaves, when you look at sociologically at what happened, in so many different ways, it became worse. And so now we're dealing with the legacy of that stuff. So, John, you see that, right? So now we got to deal with this.
I see that.
Why do you think it's so hard for so many people to see that? Why is it so hard for people to see that? Like that we got ourselves in this predicament because of decades and centuries of just unequal treatment that maybe is just built into the human condition, right? But we got ourselves into this pickle, so to speak, and we just keep talking past each other. Why is it so hard for people to understand this, to accept this? I'll just do that.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Yeah. Because it's like historical inequality, right?
Maybe people see it as they weren't the ones that caused that inequality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people today sitting in the room that they're saying, well, I didn't hurt any African-American person. I didn't hold
Native Americans, Mexican Americans, whatever. Yeah, I didn't do that. So why am I punished?
Yeah.
Yeah, why am I punished? And are they right in saying that? Is that acceptable for them to say that?
I think it is acceptable.
Totally, me too. Totally. Yeah, why wouldn't you say that? I mean, I say that. I was just born here, man. I didn't participate in the killing or taking of land of indigenous peoples in the Americas. I have a house. My house is on red land. The house that my house is on land that was formerly part of a tribe that no longer exists. Right? So but am I responsible? How responsible should I feel for that?
I don't think that you have to feel responsible, but I feel like just because the people now didn't do anything inherently harmful, I don't know, that doesn't erase the fact that you do live on that land now.
Okay,
and
so what would you have me do about it? What should I do? I hear that, I'm open, it's yeah, that was a tragedy. Oh, this is really terrible. What should I do?
About your house?
Yeah, about the whole thing. I'm doing well. Look at me, man. I'm in these nice clothes. Today's the first day I wore nice clothes, so I gotta keep pushing that. So how should I think about this?
I mean, in the regular average person, day to day, not in a work setting, I guess. There's not much you can do. It's already done, but what you could do is, I guess, I don't know, not be ignorant about what happened.
But what would mean not being ignorant do? How's that help Native peoples, right? How's it help? This guy, do your parents own a house?
Yeah.
Okay, so they own a house on red land also. Okay, whew, good, I'm not alone. All right, man. So both of us, you grew up in a house that was on land that was stolen from other people. Same with me. So what are you going to do about that? Just think about it?
I think that the average person can't really do much, but when it comes down to policies, like you were saying, that's where people have the power to do so. So voting and things like that.
Yeah, but what can the average person do then about DEI? Because you and I are just busy. You're here trying to get a job, right? Mm-hmm. You want to get a good job, make as much money as you can, and be in as little debt as possible, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what can we do about any of this inequality stuff? You and me, man. The four of us up here, actually. Liam, same with you. What are you going to do? Well, he volunteers in a soup kitchen, in a shelter, right? So he does something.
I think it's cool. That's definitely cool, but I kind of have to say it's more like a group of people. It has to be more of a group than rather just one individual person to make an impact.
All right. But you see some of the people who critique DEI are saying, hey, the five of you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
So why you keep talking about this? Because you don't have an answer. And why are we still talking about this? And all you can do is come up with these sweeping generalizations for something that we should do. I don't even know what the hell we can do. What are you going to do?
Oh, I honestly just think trying to reform the political system is kind of...
It sounds to me like we need to reform the economic system.
Definitely.
But how are we going to do that? How's that going to help anyway?
How's that going to help?
Yeah.
I think that when you reform the economic system, people can make better choices and live a different lifestyle. But also there's a bunch of underlying problems as well.
Dude, there's so many underlying problems, man. Talk to Liam about the underlying problems. He knows what they are, right? He's got them.
I guess I have a question for you, actually. If you make a new economic system, do you still expect people to still make mistakes? I mean, human mistakes.
Oh, dude.
I know people that can't fill out their basic tax form and they can't afford an accountant. They're trying to do it themselves and they're messing up their tax forms all the time. And then they have to deal with the legal cases with them because they didn't fill the tax forms out correctly.
Yeah.
So just the access to just the financial advisor or someone that could help you with anything with your finances is really crucial.
Get a new set of clothes. So some of the people that you work with, right? They just need a new set of whatever they need, man. A haircut, all sorts of things, and some therapy and drug rehab, and get out and okay, let's do it. But
yeah, absolutely. I think that I mean, a new economic system is, I think it's really difficult too. Just our original discussion where we talked about how divided the United States is. I mean, just talking about what economic system will we even go for or towards?
Which one's less problematic, right? And so I got a question for those of you who think that this economic system is really unjust and unfair. Give me one that's better. Do you know one that's better? Like, you know what I mean? Do you have one that's better?
What do you mean? What, like an economic system
more fair.
That's better?
Yeah. Give me one that's a lot better.
I don't know. I can't come up with something like at the moment. It's something that like I feel all the larger people that are in charge of that should take the time.
No. But listen. No, but how old are you? 18?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're 18, right? So I knew that you couldn't answer that question when I asked you. But I asked you the question because that's the question that you want to be thinking about. When we're talking about these kinds of questions and struggles and stuff, that's a question that you should have. You're a young student. You should be thinking, right? Like, well, what is better? Because I know a lot of people are sitting there, oh, this is the best system in the world. It's the fairest system. It's the best system. Really? How much do you know about other nations, other societies, and how they do it? How much do you know? Like, what do you know? Right? And if you say it's the worst system in the world, really? How many have you studied? How many places have you lived? How many places have you tried to survive? How many other countries? How many other systems? Why don't we apply to racial blindness instead of trying to fix black-white issues? Yeah. So what about what if we just do racial blindness, y'all, right? It's California. This is where this started. Everything you apply for school, you apply for a job, anything you want, right? It's like, applying for the job. I was watching these auditions in one of the symphony orchestras. And did I say this in class the other day? Did I talk about this? No. They were auditioning oboists. And they had like 10 oboists come in. And they were behind a curtain. And the people who were listening to them and picking out the oboe that they wanted in their symphony, I forget which one it was, they never saw them. They didn't know if it was a man or a woman, how old they were. They could have been 12 years old or 72 years old. They had no idea. They listened to them, and they picked out the person based on what they heard. And then they decided, oh, that's the person, and the person came out, and that was their oboist. What's wrong with that, man? Why don't we do that?
I think that's like, it's definitely smart in certain issues like that symphonic band, like that's smart because then you'll have like a amazing band.
Yeah.
But then when you're doing it on a bigger scale, you'll have larger populations of people that are kind of missing out on opportunities because they don't have the resources to excel in the first place. Kind of like the SAT scores that I think one of you guys were talking about.
Yeah, but maybe those people then don't apply for the opportunities that they not everybody, like look, bro, the four of you are going to get your degrees. You're not going to apply to be CEOs somewhere. You know what I mean? Like to be in middle management, you're going to apply at a lower level job and you're going to work yourselves up. So it's like, we do race blindness. You just apply for the things that you can do, that you're eligible to do, and you could do reasonably well. Why not just do that? Why do we got to deal with this race and gender stuff all the time?
Because then you have like society was made with already like different constructs and levels that are unfair. Yeah. And so I might be able to do something, but because he already has the resources, he's able to do something a lot better. And so I think, that's just kind of what it is.
John, are you on with that? Are you in agreement with that?
But if I'm a business owner, I would obviously want the person that's better.
I want
the best people working for me.
Yeah, but you already said the problem is the best person working for you might be the one that doesn't on paper seem to be the best.
For sure. That's why it's so hard to draw a line in the sand as in what's right and what's wrong. Exactly. You're never going to get a concrete answer from anybody.
Did you hear what he just said? That's why it's so hard to draw a line in the sand. And these policies are drawing very firm lines in the sand.
And they draw the lines for us to make all of us divided instead of talking about it and coming up with better solutions.
Right. So then you get somebody like the administrators.
So you vote for one person or not the other.
Or you got administrators at Penn State. They decide, okay, these are the students we're going to admit at Penn State, the graduate students or the undergraduate students or whatever. We're going to decide that for you. It's like, you can't decide that for us. Like, that's not. By the way, can I just say something? You guys know that household income is perfectly correlated with how well you do on the SAT. So as your household children with higher household incomes, as the income increases, their scores in the SAT increase. And then you think, it's perfect correlation, right? So the people with the highest scores on the SAT on average have the highest household incomes. Now, it may be, now here's where you got to be careful. Right? This goes back to our very first conversation. Some people, the person with the highest score still might be the poorest person with really low household income. Mm-hmm. And the person with really high household income still might score really poorly on the SATs, but on average, right? So what the hell? How fair is that, man? How fair, is that fair? That's how it works. Household income, SATs. How do you like that?
I don't think that's fair, but I think it just correlates with the fact that like they make more money, so they have more resources to get better scores.
So what should we do about it then?
Not sure.
Yeah, what can you? Okay, you're not sure. Good, correct answer, my friend.
Much to do.
Yeah, correct answer. Okay, but go ahead. What should we do about it?
Help the lesser privileged ones to get better scores.
I don't know. Maybe that's one thing. That might be one thing we offer. We offer like tutoring for people from low-income backgrounds. It's like, hey, we're going to give you some tutoring for your SAT and ACT scores or something like that. Like, all right, bro, would that be fair? Like, really, you see that and you think, oh man, we want to make sure everybody gets a good shot here. So like, yeah, we're going to offer some special services for people with lower income on average, right? Is that fair?
I don't think it's unfair to help people and trying to give them an opportunity to. I don't think it's unfair to maybe, like in the school system, what are the people that aren't doing as well in these SATs? What are their school systems like? How many fights break out in the classroom a day at that school?
Okay,